Interviewer will definitely expect questions from us, so we need to ask valid questions before getting into the code. Do we need to handle the edge cases, and what happens if the input is empty? Do we need to write a code for all the test cases, or the given test cases is enough? And do we need to optimize the code? What happens if the input is large? Can we proceed with the given input? Hey Kodos, what's up? Hope you are doing great. I came with another interesting video. As you have already seen on the thumbnail, it's about interview experience of a senior software engineer at EPAM with 5+ years of experience, and the package is almost 20 plus LPA. So recently my friend had interview at EPAM with 2 rounds of interview. So I will be sharing the interview experience of him with the concepts they have covered and the coding questions they have given. I will also attach the Notion page in the comment section. Do check out for reference. Before getting started, do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's go. Starting with round 1, it is about 90 minutes. As he is a backend developer, so they have covered more concepts on .NET, CSharp, Web APIs, Entity Framework and SQL. Coming to cloud, they have covered mostly on Azure based on his resume and the skills he mentioned in the resume. So coming to .NET Core, dependency injection and the middleware versus filter, and they also asked him to write a custom middleware and how to connect it to the server. To write a dependency injection code and all inject into the service. And coming to C#, they asked more questions on garbage collection and dictionary versus hash table. What is the exact difference and how it works? Equitable and array memory. Like why is array memory is limited and why can't it be extended? Can't we resize the array without using array list? Coming to web APIs, it's all about REST framework and SOAP APIs also. And what are the return types in the REST APIs, and authentication about using JWT token, authentications methods other than JWT token in the real time. Coming to entity frameworks, they also asked about a code first or a DB first approach we will be following in the large scale applications. Like as he's a experienced developer, they will be mostly asking on application level questions. And what are the things we need to consider on the migration, and about our projections. Coming to SQL, they have covered more concepts on stored procedures versus functions, inner joins, all type of other joins as well. And the most important topic in SQL will be indexes, like clustered and non-clustered index, how to handle them, and how about the cursor and delete versus truncate as well. Coming to Azure concepts, the more in-depth concepts in Azure are SAS tokens and function apps, service bus, how to create a dedicated app in Azure for our application dependency. Coming to the coding part, they asked mostly on factory pattern and abstract factory design code. Thereafter, they started with asking a coding question and asked him to choose for a preferred language to code, .NET or C#. So as he coded in C#, they asked a coding question on a second largest element in the array. So this question goes with a array integers and find the second largest distinct element in the array. So interviewer will definitely expect questions from us. So we need to ask valid questions before getting into the code. So the questions that we can ask are, do we need to handle the edge cases, and what happens if the input is empty? Do we need to write a code for all the test cases, or the given test cases is enough? And do we need to optimize the code? What happens if the input is large? Can we proceed with the given input? These kind of questions will be expected from the interviewers. So always remember to ask more questions when the given coding question. So here the test case will goes like 3957. The second largest element will be 7. The first will be 9. So the output will be 7. So before getting into the coding question, we need to explain the approach for him, that what kind of approach we will be following to getting into the code, like in a single pass, like iterating through the array once and maintaining the 2 variables, and we need to optimize the code further also. So it will be a good impression for the interviewer. for optimizing the code and explaining the time and space complexity of the same. So you can pause the video and try solving before checking the approach. So coming to round 2, it was about 60 minutes. Here also they covered more questions on the same concepts like custom middleware in the .NET and C#. They have asked about thread basics and how to handle with multi-threading and how the thread can behave in a C# based application, and web APIs, how to make a API secure, and about system design concepts also like vertical and horizontal scaling, and more questions on Azure app, how to create a dedicated Azure app, and app service configuration like function triggers and service bus integrations. In entity frameworks, they asked more on tracking versus no tracking and DTO projections and query optimization. After writing any query, we need to optimize in the entity projection. And coming to testing, unit test and the coding questions they have covered in round 2 are mostly into entire understanding of his programming approach and how exactly he is good at problem solving. They want to understand. So in that case, they ask a question on a peak element in the array, like finding the peak element means the element which has to be greater than both the neighbor elements, like left and right. So here comes the test case like 1, 3, 2 and 3 is the highest element compared to both the neighbor elements. First we need to explain the basic approach for them, and we need to go for a optimized one. Here the best optimized solution for this is picking the binary search and finding the element which is larger than both the neighbor elements. That will come up to the time complexity of O of log n, which is logarithmic time complexity and which is optimized solution for this peak element in the array. So you can pause the video and solve this problem and click the next. And the main resources that he followed for this interview or else any other interview on .NET or C# are like .NET documents and official documents is always the better way to learn and practice before getting into the interviews. So for practicing, he mostly focused on hacker rank and lead code, basic questions and easy to medium level questions they can ask. Main focus areas we can take away from this interview experiences like dependency injection and API design and middlewares and cloud services and SQL optimization. For any type of query, we need to optimize it, and as we are experienced developer, they will be expecting more from us in the application level. The entire system design concepts like cap theorem and all the design patterns. So thank you for watching this video. All the very best for your interview. If you are really preparing for senior software engineer at EPAM. See you in the next video. Bye.